You're listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, where you get valuable information you just can't find anywhere else. To thrive in today's trying times, you need the Financial Survival Network, now more than ever. Go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com and get your free newsletter and gift. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.
Welcome. This is Financial Survival Network. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. With us is the esteemed Bob Hoye, master of economic history, trends, and bends. And Bob, we haven't talked in a while, not since the election, not since all the trade tensions taking place, not since your last election last week, and you have our sincerest condolences there. How are things?
Other than the election, fine. This new prime minister, he is not just the WEF globalist, but he is a dedicated communist who is all uptight about global warming and CO2.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the punitive laws and bills that Trudeau put in, they're going to stay. And he is going to try and shut down oil and gas production in Alberta.
Oh, so
the Premier of Alberta,
Danielle,
standing, and Canada is going to provide a lot of political entertainment over the next while.
All right, so let me just interrupt you. So those are his good points, that he's a WEF stooge and a communist. The bad point is he's like a cunning, animal, a fox who you don't know what he's capable of. But I'm going to postulate something to you. Trump, when he kept insulting Trudeau, saying governor and all that, I believe what he really was after was not making Canada the 51st state. It's making Alberta the 51st state. That's the 5D chess level. That's the plasma tail gunner level that he didn't want Canada, because what does the U.S. need 30 million more liberals for? We got enough problems with what we have, right?
Okay, well, what I think is that I'm looking at what he's doing with tariffs. One is to get enough revenues for the federal government, and then with also cutting expenditures, such that it can be funded through tariffs and taxes on things, as it was for centuries until in the early 1900s when income tax was introduced. Right. So when it was introduced, essayists wrote that this is an evil, it's immoral to tax the money before you get it. Mm-hmm. So anyways, I believe that he is going to get rid of income tax, which
you got it.
Rid of the IRS.
Genius.
And fund the government with revenues on things, taxes on things.
Isn't that a genius move? Yeah. Because tax,
it is good, but
income tax equals control, right? Income tax equals control. That's what it's all about.
You got it, yeah. But also now, when he takes a run at Hollywood, for God's sakes, which I don't mind somebody poking a stick in the eye of Hollywood, but it's getting to micromanagement.
Yeah, I agree, but what he's trying to do is root out the rot in society, and that's a multipolar universe. It's Hollywood. It's higher so-called education. I would call it diseducation, if that's a word. If it's not, it should be a word. And as well as the media. There are these poles of rot. So I don't want to see them saying what you can film and what you can't. I think the market can do that fine. I think the market has done it. Look how it rejected Disney's new tranny Snow White. Like it said, take that garbage and stick it, right?
Yeah. Now, this typically tariffs have come in during a real recession.
Mm-hmm.
And local politicians and bureaucrats get upset with high rising unemployment figures in their own country, and then they went to protection. And that's very what happened on previous great recessions, if you want to call them that, before. It's the standard practice. But actually, there's a bigger picture thing, Kerry, and that is the work that I've done on financial history, where you do get a great financial bubble. And this one has been huge, and it's the everything bubble.
Mm-hmm.
And when they complete and the stock market turns down, the economy turns down virtually with it. Whereas in normal business cycle stuff, the S&P leads the economy by about a year, and this is why the S&P 500 is included in the leading indicators. But when you're at the end of a great bubble, so now my interest here is, let's say that the high in February was the high for the bubble. Mm-hmm. Now, what one looks for now is not just the bear market developing for stocks, but also there should be the economy starting to slow very abruptly. And I haven't noted anything like that yet, but it should be there. So anyways, the straight up on a great financial
mania
leads to a straight down,
and then a severe recession. And actually, Kerry, it's within each of these Great Depressions in the past have lasted about 20 years. And the whole world changes. The standard industry and commerce has problems with pricing. Mm-hmm. Like ordinary commodities, metals, grains, whatnot, are chronically weak. Right. But when you take a look at gold, now what gold does, and the only way to look at it for 300 years was to deflate it by the CPI. And so you get the real price of gold. So on my charts, the real price of gold, as the bubble concludes, goes down a little. Bubble over, the real price goes up. Mm-hmm. And I like to use the gold divided by the CRB,
right,
commodity index. I have assumed that the CRB is a proxy for mining costs. Mm-hmm. And if mining costs are going down relative to the bullion, the gold sector is making money. And this is what it was in the 1930s. Then also in the 1880s, there was a long rise in gold's real price, and you culminated in 1897 with the Klondike Gold Rush. And for those major gold rushes, you needed a few things. Alluvial gold at the surface. None of those left anymore now. Right. And you needed the high unemployment that you got to get with a Great Depression. Mm-hmm. And then around the world. And then you got unemployed men, the real price of gold going up and of great value. So then you had the great gold rushes were coordinated with the bottom of each huge depression. So it's fascinating how that works.
Isn't it?
So what we're looking for now, and I like, as I said, the gold divided by the CRB, and it has been recovering very nicely, got overbought a month or so ago, and is just sort of consolidating a bit. So it's acting like the bullion price, but I really like gold divided by commodities, and it's telling a story that is actually the future for the industry, where gold mining becomes the best game in town, and most industry and commerce are difficult, and mining-based metals. Oh, I've got a chart of mines and smelters in states from 1872, and that great bubble peaked in 1873,
Right.
And the index, as I recall, was about 450 at its best.
Mm-hmm.
And then 15 years later, it was down to 50 or 60 for gold mining, overall for industrial mining stocks, basically copper miners. And so that's what it's like. The gold miners make money, and those mining the copper make losses. So.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. So, record gold prices now, we see it going up, going down $100 some days. What is that telling us?
Well, yeah, it's all part of this incredible volatility. In December, there was a rush that was the greatest 10-day rush since
on data back to 1974. I mean, this is big stuff. And then now I heard in a news on the financial channel here this morning that something like 9 consecutive days down, it is a decline of some relentless. So, things are going to pop. But what we want to look at is that oftentimes seasonally conditions can be good into around mid-year. Mm-hmm. And then after mid-year, you start looking for a disaster. And then, of course, after September, things can really go all to hell. If it's going to go bad, big time, all of the major financial panics have occurred in the fall. Mm-hmm. And most of them cleared. Worst was in October, sort of tested and cleared the action in November. But there was one in 1825, and I have no idea why they did it, but the panic selling continued right through Christmas and into the first week in January. Mm-hmm. So, but the main thing is that major crashes are highly probable. If they're going to happen, they'll be in the fall.
Right. So, gotcha. All right. So we don't have to worry for now. And we made it through March. Yeah. Which has also become a major crash month as well, right?
Yeah. Yeah. There's been some setbacks there. So anyways, it is always fascinating out there. But what I'm dwelling upon, I'm going to mention again, is the straight up and things. I'm trying to put together a whole series of, some of the parts of the economic series and looking for the straight up and then the straight down. So right. I don't wish to be ghoulish, but I'm watching for economic reports that I usually don't follow anyways, but I just watch for a headline, that kind of thing, and where some economic series plunges, you'll see something like that at some point. I don't know when. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
So then this gets us to the sector that we like, which is gold mining. You got the seniors, you got the Midland-sized ones, and then you got the juniors. And I've been in mining exploration work since I graduated in geology, which is a long time ago. And we put together a list, I think it's 11 in it, of junior gold stocks, from pre-production to small producers to exploration, out-and-out exploration stocks.
Yeah.
We put it together in December 2023, and Ross and I went through the charts the other day, and if you had bought a suite of those things, you'd be nicely on side. And the reason for getting into them is that when you really get the bull market for gold stocks, those small cap stocks, they can really move. And then there's also the possibility of somebody making a discovery. Mm-hmm. And I remember 1996, and it was looking like an exploration market to develop. I got a list of 5
5 stocks from a gold fund manager in Toronto.
Mhm.
And one of them was a stock called Arequipa.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it went from pennies to $30.
Mm-hmm.
And they take over for the whole property, and everything else was valued at $1.1 billion.
Wow.
So just keep in mind, you don't know when there's a possibility of another Arequipa happening, where
True.
somebody does make a discovery that the world gets in and participates.
Yeah. I love it. I love it, Mac. Hey, so what about profits now at places, small mining concerns like Newmont and Barrick? What are they looking at now?
Oh, well, they face the same thing. It all comes down to the real price and their profit margins.
Right.
And one can trade the seniors, but if people want our list of juniors, they're quite welcome to get in touch, and we'd be pleased to send it out.
Yeah, we'll have a link in the show notes so that you can contact Bob and get that precious list. We always get like 2-3 dozen people asking for that list, and it's a good list. So the fact is, so with Newmont Barrick, $3,500, $3,300 gold, their profits are going to go exponential, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, they're making money because the same thing is that gold's real price has been acting well.
Yeah.
Overbought a couple of months ago and is correcting, but generally, and as I say, remind again, I don't want to bore people. I just use the gold divided by the CRB. You get a data. You can chart it. Whereas if you deflate gold by the CPI, the inflation thing, you can only do that once a month.
Yeah, that's so true, Matt. So true. Yeah, amazing. It really is a amazing time to be alive, isn't it?
Oh, it's fascinating out there, and particularly with the financial and political history that I have, and as I say, when you have a big financial boom goes bust, the whole world can change.
Yeah.
Think of 1929.
So true.
And for those that were on the scene in 1873, it was almost as bad, but it was again a great financial bubble hit, and then the failure, and into the whole thing, commodity prices, base metals going down, and everything else. So
yeah, so true, so true. Hey, so what's your take on AI?
Oh, it's fascinating, but I don't think I'm really equipped to fully understand it. And it is a game that requires all kinds of power.
Yeah.
Power like you wouldn't believe. So
that's something you do know about.
Although it has a great cachet, it also has great costs.
But that is something you do know about.
Yeah. Again, it is a financial market phenomenon. And
yeah.
You know what that means?
Oh, bubble. I see bubbles in the sky. Floating upwards, getting too close to the sun and then popping.
Oh, that's the Icarus effect. the Greek, the legend in Greece where Icarus somehow adhered bird feathers to his wings and his arms, and he could actually fly.
Yeah.
And he flew up, and
the warmth from the sun melted the wax, and then
exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Love it.
Oh, and then also,
the busybodies are coming out with it that they can reduce global warming by putting all kinds of particulates up there in the sky. Nobody says how much it's going to cost to fire up rockets to distribute particles of something or other in the sky.
Yeah.
And how much energy it's going to take. I mean, these guys are dreamers, just absolutely hopeless dreamers.
Well, it's good to be a dreamer, though, isn't it?
Not when it's financials.
Hey, I'm a dreamer, and it hasn't hurt me.
Okay.
But
Well, you went back to the Great Depression and the hardship on the farms in Canada and in the States, and the drought was. I'm telling you, the heat and the drought of the 20s into the 30s was exceptional.
Yeah.
So then they were trying to seed clouds with little iodine crystals or something like that.
Really?
And efforts were made, but you had to, in order to do that, you had to have some clouds.
Yeah, that would help.
They just didn't have them, so you needed clouds. But if there's no clouds, you can't do any seeding. So this is where you got these guys are going to seed the atmosphere with some kind of particulates, and screen out the heat and prevent the world frying. You know what I mean? And that's why Carney, the new Prime Minister of Canada, he really is right into the whole global warming thing, and you must do this and must do that. And so it's prompting a very serious movement by the province of Alberta and Saskatchewan to leave the Confederation of Canada. I'm all for it. I think it's a great idea.
Hey, well, you know, we were talking about this pre-call. I'm going to tell you what my thought is. I believe that this was Trump's plan from the beginning. He didn't really want all of Canada, because the last thing the United States needs is 30 more million liberals. What he was really after, he's always been after Alberta, because that is a gold mine, both literally and figuratively, for the United States, right?
Oh, yeah. No, my view is that he wants to have an open border for people and goods and services, and then the whole trading bloc becomes immense. You got Canada, the United States, and then also separate from this is that over beginning decades ago, I mean probably the last Great Depression, the tariffs and protectionism from province to province got out of control. It is wow. Yeah. So now there is a genuine movement in Canada to get rid of the tariffs province to province. This is good stuff, and I believe it's going to happen. It's good stuff.
It's brilliant. It's like, who would think this could be done, right? Who would think that it could ever be done?
No, the attitude is there. People are just realizing a lot of things the government do are pretty stupid. But the leader of the opposition in Canada, Pierre Polyev, I've written a year ago that he is the most competent and attractive conservative leader since Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
The guy is very good. And also, he's extremely bright. He did an address on, I was called Flag Day in the States. I think I called it Family Day in Canada. And I was so impressed with this thing. And then one of the commentators, business commentators out of Toronto, the next day recorded that Polyev wrote that whole address himself.
Really?
Oh, no, this guy is something else again. No, I have the highest regard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a believer in him, too. I think he's pretty good, but I don't think he handled the election properly, but maybe
They
those.
sandbagged him.
Yeah.
He needs a major domo to watch for traps, but the Liberals, i.e. the government, changed the riding, and then they had a ballot with 90 names on it, and his name was about 80 down. The Liberals think of everything.
Oh, they'll stop at nothing. They'll stop at nothing.
And there was also
probably ballots stolen or delivered when they were needed. So no,
that his election was rigged against him.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to be ready for this stuff. Trump wasn't ready the first time either. We see what happened there, but now a little different.
Oh yeah, he's got a handle on it. So
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah,
Trump is unique in history as far as I'm able. I look back a couple hundred years, and there have been reformers, but nothing like this. Trump is his own man, and I think when he came down the elevator at Trump Tower and then announced, I don't think he really grasped where he was and what.
No,
But it didn't take him.
it was a reality TV show, right?
Yeah, but he's got it. So, no, I haven't. There's nobody like Trump in history that I have been able to see. So,
Yeah.
and I admire him. And he's going to help save the Western world from the WEFers, communists, whatever you want to call them these days. Control freaks.
Couldn't agree with you more. Could not agree with you more. Hey, so, all right. So when we talk again in a few months, are we in a recession or not?
Well, this is what I'm looking for. We've had the spike up in the financials, the spike down, and it should be accompanied by weakening economic numbers. So
we're watching for weakening economic numbers.
Mm-hmm. All right. Sounds good. So, Bob, the list, you got your favorite mining stocks on that list. Has it changed much since the last one?
A list of prime juniors.
Put together by guys who've been on the street for a million years, and they know the action, and so they said there's pre-production in there. There are small producers, and then
there's exploration stocks. So I like it. I think people, it's a good way to play the gold sector.
All right. I like it.
Very good, Kerry.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. You got any questions, comments for Bob? Shoot me an email, kl@kerrylutz.com. Of course, go to the site, financialsurvivalnetwork.com. You get all the links. And, hey, we'll get you that list as soon as you send in the request. Put Bob's list in the subject line. Again, Bob's list in the subject line. Bob, we'll talk to you in a couple months or maybe less. Who knows? Talk to you soon. Be well.
Fun, Kerry.
Anytime. Look forward to it.
Thanks for listening to Kerry Lutz's Financial Survival Network, your solution to today's trying times. For the latest, go to financialsurvivalnetwork.com. Financial Survival Network, now more than ever.